So last episode we had a B20vtec get here from Mindanao, the island. So we disassembled it, and as we disassembled it, we started to notice some damage and all that. And while we're trying to it back to a brand new condition, here we will discuss the issues it had, like the bearing damages like this, get into in-depth detail, bring it on the desk here, talk about the main bearings, the cause and effect, and that the damage it did, like on the crank here. Yes, and we finish up the head too. It's getting there, yeah. And also, like we don't usually show, we weigh the pistons with you guys, check everything, including this, the ring gaps. We rarely get to do this on the video, but here we're going to show you the ring gaps. Not only that, we're even going to check on the ring clocking positions, not on just the picture, but we're going to show it on the actual piston itself. So, yep, this episode is going to be the most fun. So, you know it. Yeah, let's go. All right, first things first. Here's our new Facebook page because I lost the control of the old page when my Facebook got hacked. So this is a new one. Got the price list there of head porting, engine build labor, cam degree, even intake porting, and even ECU tuning. So yep, we try to constantly post there on the shop work that we do, including this intake, and also it led to a good discussion on the comment section. And of course, that's why it led to a stock airbox test, dyno test, short ram, and cold air intake. So you gotta hit like and follow the page because we always have pretty decent discussions there, quite technical, and some of it don't make the video, but we always keep talking, discussing there. So hit like and follow, guys. If you don't have Facebook, we got my Instagram. It's dedicated to SRD Motorsports. As you can see, I post all the good stuff there too. Try to update it as daily as I can, like the page you can see there. So like and follow on both accounts. And of course, if you like short form content, my TikTok is quite active. Here it is. We try to post all the good stuff there too, but mainly for entertainment. So all the link will be in the description below. So let's start. On the last video, we showed you this. We disassembled it. We saw the damages on the main bearings, as you can see here. And as I said earlier, it's caused by dirt or unclean engine assembly. So yep, that's why it's caused this dirt. As you can still see, the main bearings are actually new but already damaged. Here's on the main caps above, you can see even there is more visible. Yep, so now let's get to the workbench, get all the main bearings. Okay, here on the right side, this is the block side main bearings. On the left is the main bearings that's on the main caps. So here's, look at this. The reason why I say it's basically on dirt is because look, you can see the coating or the Babbitt coating is still there, the gray one. But you see the dots here, the indentations, that's not from running, because if it's running, it'll be scratches. This got indented because it was probably assembled dirty and it got pressed in as they were turning it. So you can see the main bearing is quite new. Bearing number 2, as you can see, the wear is not equal. One side is like wearing crazy, that's probably of the dirt, and the other side has no wear. Number 3 bearing, both has wear on this. You can see that. As you can see there, the dents are like quite deep. Number 4 bearing is actually the worst, and that's most probably why there's extreme damages on the number 4 rod journals, like terminal damages. We'll get to that later. Number 5 bearing, yep, I see that, the dirt. So this is why it's really, really important making sure everything is clean, because from the main bearings, the dirt goes out to rod bearings, so actually kill or damage the rod bearings worse than the mains. Here's the number 1 bearing. Maybe that's why this engine or this B20vtec was sent back to us without the rod bearings. It was already removed. So maybe it was half gone, But the rods ended up being okay. Just the crank had like really bad damage, and we'll talk about that later. We're gonna put it on the table. Look, the indentations, you can see the copper. That's basically wearing into 2 layers. The Babbitt layer, the coating, and then the copper coating. Or the copper layer, sorry. So that it got to 3 layers of the bearing before it showed the copper. That's extreme wear. mainly due to dirt assembly or assembling the engine dirty. So now we gotta put this aside because I'm gonna save this. So if we see another set of bearings with different kind of wear, we might make a video about bearing wear. But I need a favor: hit the like button. This way, the more likes the video gets, the more activity it shows to the algorithm. It gets spread out to wider audience. It helps the channel. It helps me out big time. Oh yeah, hit the like button. Of course, if you haven't been subscribed, you gotta subscribe. This way you can watch on your own free time because whenever you log into YouTube, you're gonna check our playlist. We have notifications when you have a new upload. You're gonna check all the stuff in your own free time. That's gonna be even better. And for the hardcore, yeah, we got the members only section. You gotta join the members only for all the ultra hardcore videos like here, chamber work, engine building, and all the details, including dyno and dyno tuning itself. So we have almost 20, more than 20 videos there for you guys, all right? So now here's the crankshaft. Here, see, I clipped my phone there, but I have to hold it now to show you guys better. Yes, at first I was like, okay, we can just have the machine shop micro polish the journals because so it's gonna be good because the scratches are like not that deep. But as we brought the crankshaft to the machine shop for micro polishing, they were inspecting it, and I did not see. I must admit, did not see the section that they were showing. I'm going to show you now. This part here. Oh, sorry. Here, journal number 4. It's crazy. That's why the main bearing number 4 also had the most damage. Look. That's quite terminal because you can't run like undersized, like well, let's say 0.25. That's too much. That's too deep damage. So this renders the crankshaft totally junk. And this is what the reason why I mentioned this because I've seen locally lots and lots of people are looking for a crankshaft, either B series or D series. Maybe that's because they're assembling it dirty. So you gotta make sure it's clean before it's too late because looking for a crankshaft is a lot more problems and more trouble. That's why I made this video 2 years ago. The views are just 3,000, but it's gonna be in the description below for that. Here, let's go to the head now. Here we have on the exhaust, we're already going with the 120 grit, getting all smoothed out because you know we've got the shape good now. Yes, and we have the separate video for that. And here a new batch of Super Tech valve seals from RDJ, and here we are on the 1-up pistons. Yeah, let's open it up. We gotta check the weight before we get the pistons pressed to the rod. So you know we gotta make sure everything is good now. So let's unbox it first. Oh yeah, look at those dome. The OG Arias dome. So now we start with the piston pin first. So that's the, you know, you make sure, because sometimes they're close together, sometimes they're far apart, but we gotta check. This way we can designate each piston pin to what pistons as we weigh the, you know, as we try to match the individual pistons itself. So let's set this aside for now. Check on the piston pin. All right, remove it from the plastic wrapping. All right. Yep, hit scissors. Okay. Now we time lapse this so it doesn't get too boring. Get all the weight. Check it. Okay, wiping it because it's a bit oiled sometimes, so make sure everything the weight is there. 59.7 is the lightest. Everything else is 60 grams, so that's perfect. Good job, 1-up. And Al, the owner. Oh yeah, look at that Arias dome. Oh yeah, so nice. Okay, 7.4 cc dome, so you can calculate it on the online calculators. It's gonna be easy. All right, set this aside here. Keep it in order. All right. Clean it. Make sure there's no oil. Double check. We read like 2 or 3 times just to be sure. Now we're sure. So we write the weight on the dome. Also write on the notes that I save it. But for ease of assembly, it's always on the dome itself. I learned that from Spoon Sports. All right, yeah, 34.2, 34.2.3, 34.3, and 43.2, and then 43.7. Sorry. So that's pretty close. So we get the 2, 3, and 4 equal to the piston number 1, or this on the leftmost, so that we get the lightest one equal. So the lightest one is untouched. Here, 342.1, 342.1, 342.1. Perfect. Now we can dedicate the piston pin on each one and have the piston pressed to the rods. We label this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we check the piston rings now. We start with the top ring. Because we haven't removed the stock pistons, it's easier to get the ring gaps because it's a flat dome. Here we are. 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. Now we check. Oh, okay. 17 doesn't fit, but 15 is too loose. So here, 0.016 gap is just about right because the 15 was too loose and 17 won't fit. So yep, it's good now. And it just has a slight drag, so you know it's really perfect 0.016 gap. So for the top ring, we're at 0.016, so that's good because this is actually honed. So we know the bore is really, really straight and good, so that's perfect. Yep. Now we remove it. Make sure it's in order. So the rings closest to me on my hand is number 1, then 2, 3, and 4. Of course, we set it aside in the same order, so when you assemble on the piston, it's going to be perfect here. Closest to me is 1, 2, 3, and 4, all right? Yep. Next up is the second ring, or the scraper ring. This one, we make sure it's 0.018, because the top ring is 0.016. It's going to be perfect at 0.018, so we're going to do that. And the oil ring, oil control ring, we just make sure it doesn't butt together the both ends. It's going to be perfect. Yep, you can check out the video here. We have it in the description below, or all about piston rings, all right? Here it is now, all pressed into the rods. We had to label the rods because, of course, when you remove the stock pistons, you wouldn't know what number it is. So it's labeled now. So we take off the tape. Now it's clean. We wiped it clean. All right, all pressed in. Perfect. Oh yeah, now this is gonna be so good. Make sure everything's clean. Yep. Now all the piston rings are installed on the piston itself. And now for the interesting part, piston ring clocking. On the manual here it is, top ring, second ring, and the oil control ring at the bottom. Yes, but here we'll show you on the actual pistons so that it's gonna be an easier visual for you guys. Here it is. Oh, sorry, wait. Top ring, and then the second ring. Wait, there you go. And then, wait, let me get the marker ready. The oil control ring here is here at the bottom. So here it's like at 11 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock on the second ring, and then the oil control ring is here. The oil spacer is in here, then the spacer at the bottom and top is there. All right. So let me put a marker on where the gap is so that it's easier for you guys to see where we clock the piston rings. Okay, piston ring number 1 is here, the top ring. Number 2 is here. All right. That's the intake side. And then on the exhaust side, the scraper, the expander. The expander and the scraper, and then the spacer here. There. So it's just like the manual. This is how we clock the piston rings since I started SRD in 2008. And actually, since I started building an engine, my own engine in 2003, back in college until now, I've always done it this way. It always worked out fine for me, be it Seco, SuperTech, Arias, as long as it's gapped properly like that with the proper ring gap and ring clocking, it's always going to be really good. Okay, let's throw this away. Okay, now this is all ready. And then one more thing about assembling an engine clean. This is usually not seen on the videos here in the channel, but here you can check. Here I always have myself a wet rag, a dry rag, a couple of sheets of shop towel, and a couple of sheets of normal tissue paper. You gotta always be clean when you're assembling an engine. Even if it's just a cylinder head or anything, here, ethyl alcohol, a spray bottle, you gotta always be clean. And here, even fiber towels for when everything is clean and finished up, we can use this to wipe everything clean. We make sure the engine is like brand new and clean like brand new. So that really matters. And you will realize it matters when you start damaging cranks or pistons and whatnot. Then it's too late because you're gonna spend extra money, right? So you gotta always be clean. Here's an update here. The owner, Neil, decided he'd want us to port the intake manifold, because his reason is might as well, because we're already working on the head, which is a really smart move because he can get the best out of the project of the or the performance of the engine even better. He has an original skunk tooth throttle body, so that's really nice and awesome. Some fuel FIC injectors, that's pretty good. Golden Eagle fuel rail. Here's the manifold video. Link will be in the description below because we've done a few of those. So here, let's set this aside. Here's an update. He also acquired a B16b CTR or Type R cams, so it's gonna be really good. And also the Crower valve spring and retainer. So as soon as that arrives, this engine's gonna be good. We're gonna get a new crank. So yes, next episode we're gonna be ready. Of course, you can also click it here